Greetings, survivors. This is the Neuroshima Hex Gamer. Today we're going to take a look at the brand new Army Merchants Guild. I barely got this today, so we're just going to open it up and you're going to see this exactly as I see it. I like this cover art, and yeah, it just feels very merchant-like. He's got a backpack on, and of course you got to protect yourself. Jonica Jonka is the designer, and she's put out a lot of great things for Portal games. The back says, "Merchants are everywhere. We are used to their calm faces and cheerful banter. If only something goes wrong, you accidentally steal something or overdo the bargaining. Bro, I would hate to be in your shoes because the whole guild and their mercenaries will set off in pursuit of you. You'd better have a jacked up car then." Let's see, I love this right here. That's a cool looking vehicle. Yeah, let's open this up. Okay. Well, I hope everything's going well with everyone, wherever you are in the world. I know since the last time I posted a video, which admittedly has been longer than I would like, we've had some new subscribers, so welcome to all of you. Okay. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Okay, Ziploc bag. English and Polish rules. No one took the Merchants Guild seriously because what is an army without territory, without flags, without a horde of roaming gangers on tweaked cars? And yet, when another wandering merchant is lost without a trace, it turns out that their lost gamble, the currency of the land, also belonged to their colleagues. They use their gambles to revenge, to organize an army that, under their flag, enters territory with a mission. You won't believe how quickly people catch on to the science of power, the power of gambles and those who trade in it. The Merchants Guild introduces a new way of managing the tiles you draw. Instead of discarding the least useful tile, you must decide which tiles utilize your gambles best. Most tiles depict additional costs. Once you pay the cost, you may use the special abilities on the tile. Sometimes it is useful to discard 2 tiles to gain gambles to pay for the special abilities of the 3rd tile. This army has low initiative, so you must use your initiative boosting or toughness to take control of the board. Okay, we'll read more of this in a little bit. Okay, let's take a look at these. I like this yellow. I also like that it's got this like weathered look to it. That's pretty cool. Okay, we've got our battle tiles. We've got these that we'll get into. Again, this is all brand new stuff. I don't know about you guys, but punching out new games are always, it's always fun for me. I always enjoyed it. Just one of those soothing activities, which I guess is kind of ironic given that it's Neuroshima Hex. Okay. Yeah, and there's the back of the tiles. Nice handshake. Makes sense. It's a Merchants Guild. You know, your word is your bond. Okay. New rules. Gambles. Gambles are represented by, let's see, by these bullet tote markers. Okay. Guess that makes sense too. Bullets are better than cash in an apocalyptic situation. During setup, after placing your HQ, gain 2 gambles. You also gain them during the game when you discard a module, an implant, or a warrior from your available tiles. You gain a number of gambles equal to the initiative of the warrior or the initiative increase provided by the module. Okay, so that'd be 1 gamble if we discarded this one. This would be 1 gamble, I'd assume. This one would probably be 2. Where's see a module here would be a +1, so it would be a gain 1. We'll figure out what this is in a minute. When you discard an implant, you gain a number of gamble even equal to the cost of its activation. Discarding instant action tiles or modules that do not increase initiative do not provide gamble. Okay, so this one might not actually provide gamble, either with the move tiles or battle tiles. There's an implant though. I guess you could see the 2 gamble on it. Okay. Tactical advice, use move tiles to relocate your HQ. It's a great way to prevent being overwhelmed by opponents and to gain gambles. Spend gambles cautiously. You can always save them for future rounds. Also, using a reconnaissance lets you control the number of battle tiles in the deck. Okay, let's get through the rest of this then. Okay, so if we've got tile 1, for example, when you discard the boss, you gain 1 gamble because it increases initiative by 1. When you place a warrior tile, you must spend a number equal of, I'm guessing it means gamble here, there's nothing there, equal to its initiative. I wonder if it's in this one. Yeah, I'm guessing that's here. Okay. Gain gamble equal to its initiative or some of its initiative to activate its special ability, except for the mandatory ability described below. If you decide not to pay, cover the special ability with a deactivation marker, which are these. Okay, that makes sense. Gamble, deactivate. Okay, let's figure this out. For example, I should probably read this closer. Example, to activate the sharpshooter special ability of this warrior, you must spend 1 gamble because its initiative is 1 when you play the tile. Okay. Well, that's a pretty good looking tile. We'll look through these in a minute. Deactivation markers. Okay, let me make sure the reflection. Deactivation markers are used to cover the special ability icons of warrior tiles. Special abilities that are covered are disabled. You don't need to cover the special abilities that are activated when you place a tile, such as reconnaissance, sabotage, and boarding, because once they are resolved, they have no remaining effect on the game. Contract, mandatory ability. For the contract special ability, which is the purple one, which is on at least this guy, you do not spend gamble when placing the tile. You must spend gamble equal to the initiative of a warrior before its initiative phase during battle. So you'd have to pay 2 gamble before the second initiative phase during the battle. You may decide not to pay for this ability, but unpaid warriors are immediately discarded. Nets of a warrior are not influenced by contract. Okay, this is new, so if I'm understanding this right, and we'll see if I mess this up later on, or as we get into this, I might contradict myself, but you can place this guy for free, but before the second initiative in a battle, you have to pay 2 gamble for this guy to actually attack. Otherwise, he gets discarded. Okay. That's funny. An implant. An implant is a new type of unit. Well, it's really not new anymore. After Mephisto and Pirates have used it, and I believe Beasts had an implant. So it's becoming more common now. Depicting additional actions a player may perform during their turn. Once per turn, a player may activate 1 implant on the board belonging to their army. To activate Merchant's Guild army, you have to spend gamble. That makes sense. I'm assuming this one, we'll get to it, but you have to spend 2 gamble to move any tile. Yeah, pay 2 to spend to move, probably. Okay. Let's see. Special rules. Terror. When you discard a tile when terror is active, you receive gamble as usual. That makes sense. Paid sniper. Connected medic is discarded instead of the targeted unit, regardless of how many wounds the paid sniper deals. Yeah, because it's dealt in 1 attack. In games against the dancer, the paid sniper may only deal 1 wound to an object. Contract is inactive when the warrior with a contract mandatory ability is netted. Revival is not activated when a warrior is removed from the board because its owner does not pay for its contract. Reconnaissance and sabotage, full board. You cannot use their special abilities. If placing them on the board fills the last hex and causes a battle. That makes sense. In fact, the app has been helpful for me in emphasizing that rule because it's something that I didn't used to actually do early on when I was first learning this game. Anyway, control takeover. If Vegas takes control over an implant or warriors with a contract ability, they are always considered paid. Okay, that's actually good to know. Actually, that's great to know. Paid explosives. If paid explosives do not explode at the beginning of the battle, i.e. because they are netted, they cannot explode later, i.e. because they are no longer netted, nor attack, not attack. If paid explosives is not connected to any enemy unit, it does not explode at all. If it is connected to an enemy HQ, it explodes but does not deal any wounds to the enemy HQ. In games against the dancer, paid explosives deal 1 wound to a connected object. Warriors with the paid explosives ability may be netted, taken control of, pushed back, etc. as usual. Reflection reflects paid explosives. And there's another cool piece of artwork. Okay, the HQ. HQ has a melee attacks on all sides. Special feature is the capital. If the HQ destroys at least 1 enemy unit during the battle, gain 1 gamble. During setup, your HQ provides you with 2 gamble. Okay, that makes sense. So at least 1 enemy unit destroyed by the HQ. Which will be interesting because that means the HQ definitely is gonna... There'll be some advantage to having the HQ by enemy units, but that also can become a problem. Okay, Welder Chris, melee attack, paid explosives. Instead of the melee attack, it explodes at the beginning of a battle before any initiative phases, the adjacent enemy tiles indicated by the explosion icon are destroyed along with Welder Chris. It does not cause damage to HQs. Okay, I'm gonna just try to find these guys as we go along. Okay. So it'll explode rather than, if he's not paid, he'll attack. If he is paid, he'll explode. Okay, that makes sense. I like the artwork on this. This is really good. I mean, I've always liked the artwork, but I feel like they've really, Portal Games has gotten better over the last, as they go along, the artwork keeps getting better and better. Okay, Welder. There's two of them. Oh, there's 3 Welder Chris's. 2 welders. They've got armor on 3 sides and a ranged attack. They have a paid pushback. Once during each turn, even the turn it is placed on the board, it can push back 1 adjacent enemy unit. Now the big thing is going to be remember to actually pay for these abilities, because I think on other tiles and other armies, you still have the gold symbol for being able to do its to do the ability. In fact, yeah, like gold is toughness here, or you have gold here for the move and for toughness. So that's just going to be something to get, something to get used to with the Merchant's Guild specifically. Okay. Let's get this figured out. Okay. Bumped the camera there. Okay, we've got black box, melee attack, armor on 1 face, paid sabotage. When you place this tile, you may swap it with an adjacent enemy unit. May not rotate. Okay. With an adjacent enemy unit. That could be useful. But when you pay it, and it costs 2, so that also is pretty expensive. So you have to watch that part of it. This is a really fascinating concept. It's going to be really interesting to actually play with this army. Okay, Daredevil. Melee attacks, mandatory ability, contract. Read before. The contract, you do not spend when you gamble and place the tile, but you must spend gamble equal to the initiative of the warrior before its initiative phase during the battle. You may decide not to pay for the ability, but unpaid warriors are immediately discarded. So that'll be interesting. Which means you're going to always want to have probably some level of gamble in your pile at all times, so that whenever a battle occurs, whether triggered by you or somebody else, you can pay for some of these units. Okay, Scout Leader has a ranged attack, a melee attack, and paid reconnaissance. When you place this tile, take a chosen tile from your discard pile, except for the scout leader, and shuffle it into your deck. You may not use this ability if any of the players have already drawn their last tile. That makes sense. On the discard, or on the last tile. Okay. That could be useful. Either as a way to potentially get more gamble later on, or bring back a strong unit. Okay, Hacker has nets, melee attacks, and the contract ability. So you'll have to pay for him to do his thing, or her thing. Let's see, I think it's a her, which is awesome. That's one thing I really liked too about Portal games. There we go. All their stuff has men and women. It kind of looks like a Dr. Octopus. That's cool. Yeah. Okay. I love how the artwork actually really reflects, being able to hold the unit with the two claws. Okay, tank, ranged unit, a ranged attack, melee attack, is a paid spy. A spy can link itself to enemy modules or headquarters as if they were friendly modules or headquarters, automatically receiving their bonuses and benefits. I believe New York also has a spy, so that's good to see this coming back, but only if they're paid. You gain 3 gamble when you discard this tile, and you must spend 3 gamble to pay for its special ability, because it attacks at initiative 2 and initiative 1. So it's expensive. I think it's going to be interesting to figure out the balance of getting units on the board and also paying for the units to have improved abilities. And when to do that and when to not. And when to do that and when to hold back. Highway Cruiser, melee attack, paid boarding. When the highway cruiser is placed on the board, the active player may start a battle. Paid boarding cannot be used if any of the players have drawn their last tile. After the battle, the player's turn ends. Okay. Really curious to just check out that artwork a little bit closer. Yeah, again, the artwork seems to be more detailed than in the past, and just, I don't know, it's just, I've just liked it a lot. Debt Hunter, paid ranged attack, paid sharpshooter, paid sharpshooter. A sharpshooter can choose which enemy unit in its line of fire to attack. It does not need to be the first enemy unit in the line. The armor of the unit being shot acts as normal. Automatic turret, ranged attack, toughness with no cost. That's kind of cool. Cool different unit. Scout, connected friendly units gain +1 initiative. Commander, okay, that's what this new one is. Commander, connected friendly units gain +1 strength in ranged combat and +1 toughness, except for the HQ. Okay, that does make Okay. I didn't know if this was a new symbol or if it was a ranged plus a toughness. So it's good to see that. That'll be interesting to have. Especially if you can stack some of these up. Okay, the boss. Connected friendly units gain +1 initiative and +1 strength in melee combat. Strategist has armor on the one side. It's an implant, so it doesn't have any particular direction. Spend 2 gamble to move a friendly unit to an adjacent unoccupied hex and or turn it in any direction desired. Gain 2 gamble for discarding the implant. The Briber. It's also an implant. Spend 2 gamble to rotate an enemy unit in any direction. Gain 2 gamble for discarding the implant. That's interesting because Mississippi has an instant action tile where you could rotate an enemy unit, but this takes it to another level by being able to spend gamble to rotate enemy units, especially if you're facing an army like Moloch that only has 1 move tile. You can do a lot to slow down or impede their ability to attack. Okay, I'm again, this whole army, I'm really curious to see how it plays in action. Paid Sniper. Spend up to 3 gamble. Inflict 1 wound on a single chosen enemy unit for each gamble spent. It does not cause damage to HQs. Okay. That'd be great to actually get through, if you had to get through some of New York's tougher opponent or tougher units, especially with the HQ ability, or Uranopolis, some of their tough units. Yeah, that's excellent. Black Market. Okay. This one really, I mean, it's simple, but it also is just simple and cool looking. Maybe I'm just simple. This tile may be placed at the beginning of your turn before discarding a tile. Gain 1 gamble. Then you may reveal the enemy tiles from the top of their deck so that your opponent will draw on their next turn. Okay, you play this tile. You gain 1 gamble, and then you reveal the enemy tiles that they're going to draw on their next turn. I'm assuming if you're playing multiple opponents, you can choose which opponent? Or do you get to do all opponents? I mean, yes, this game plays very good at 2 players, but that's an interesting question. Move a friendly unit to an adjacent unoccupied hex and or turn it in any direction desired. Very standard there. And a battle. Start a battle. After battle, the player's turn ends. This tile cannot be used to start a battle if any player drew their last tile. Okay. Gamble markers. There's 7 of them. You may have up to 7 gamble markers. If you already have 7 gamble markers, ignore any effects that would gain you more. The order of resolving available effects during your turn. 1, you may play the black market. 2, you may activate an implant. 3, you must discard a tile. 4, you may play /discard/keep remaining drawn tiles for the future rounds. Which As a general strategy, again, if you're playing any army, if you draw 3 tiles, and you discard 1, and say you only want to play 1, generally speaking, you'd want to discard the last remaining tile as a strategy, just to keep your deck cycling, because sometimes the longer you stretch out the game, it could help your opponent. Now, if it helps you, excellent. With the Merchant's Guild, because you get money, you get gamble for units that you discard. I could see it just being if you don't know what to do, if you only want to play 1, then discard the other one and get the gamble if you have less than 7. Again, I think that's just a simple strategy just right out of the gate. Now there's the army. I'm really excited to see this in action and to really test it out. Most likely the first game will be a game with myself against myself. I'm really excited for this army. I think it looks fantastic. I think it's going to be a little bit more complicated than a lot of the basic stuff. But like with pirates and some of the other ones, as I play, or as you play, I think it'll become a little bit more easy to flow. Plus, I think after I play 1 or 2 games with myself on this, I think I'll be able to grasp a lot of these things better. Anyway, this is the Merchant's Guild, designed by Jana Kajanka for Neuroshima Hex. And this is the Neuroshima Hex Gamer signing off.